I mean, yeah, coach kind of got into my case a little bit at halftime for just being a little soft, and so I kind of took it as a challenge to just be a little bit more aggressive, and I needed to be better. You kind of just get complacent sometimes, and you just got to be locked in and focused, and just a tough mindset the whole time. So I thought I just kind of take it upon myself to do better that second half.
Gabe, when you look at just not just Brandon, but everybody in that second half,
yeah,
you come up with a few shots, and I mean there at the end of the first half, was it you and I think Raleigh both hit threes?
Maybe Cole it was,
Cole.
yeah.
That's right, it was
yeah.
Cole. How key was especially the end of the way that half?
Yeah.
You guys ended that half to be able to kind of set the tone to be able to get back.
Yeah, it's always good to end a half on a high note. Carries a little momentum going in. But yeah, I mean, I think this group, I've said it so many times, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but just veteran guys is, I think, the difference this year. Just a lot of guys who've played a lot of games and aren't going to get down when things aren't going your way or you're down at halftime or whatever, because I think it was my first year here or something. We didn't win a game when we were losing or something like that at halftime. So to have a couple this year already just shows that experience, I think.
And Brandon, kind of a similar question. Just what would you say about the resilience that you've seen from this team? I mean, this isn't the first time you guys have done something like this, coming back from double digits this year.
Yeah, I mean, like Gabe said, last year or especially 2 years ago, any kind of halftime lead, we'd struggle to come back. But this team really I think we in the past years we've struggled to finish out games, and it's just not being locked in mentally, not being mature enough for 40 minutes. And I think this team really has that ability to just stay focused for all 40 minutes and block out some of that noise and the things we can't control and just finish out strong.
Obviously, there's still a lot left to play in the Pac-12, but how important is it to be able to get those first couple of wins? And I'm not sure how many games you played in December that you go undefeated in December.
Yeah, it's always good to start off on a high note. You can carry a little momentum and have a tough challenge next week, but I think we'll be ready for it.
Well, hey, great weekend. Tough win tonight. Really proud of how we grinded it out. It was. I'm not sure how to describe that game. I'm really not. But anytime you can, get a sweep, obviously you got to take care of business at home. But there was just, I just don't even know how to describe that game. But I'm really, really proud of our guys. I thought, the end of the first half, a great start to the game, not so good in the middle of that first half. And I thought it was big the last 2 minutes or so of that first half. Cole hit a three on the right wing, and then Raleigh hits that one in the right corner, and it just kind of got our footing back because nothing was going right in every way, shape, and form. And a lot of that was Washington, and some of that was certainly self-inflicted. But what I'm really proud, just how we responded, down 15. I think we've been in that situation one time this year. I think the St. John's game. I'm not sure any other game we've been down like that. And to be able to come in at halftime and really kind of regroup and just recompose and just kind of get ourselves together and not get distracted. There's a lot of outside influences in sports, and you just got to be able to control what you can control. And I'm just really proud of how our guys did, and we galvanized and came together. And even when we made that huge run, there just were some things that didn't go well for us. Free throw shooting has been a strength of ours. Tonight it was not. But we were able to get loose and get some easy ones. And then the last 15 minutes of the game, they only got one offensive rebound. That was a real issue for us in that first half. And so I think they had 8. And so really galvanized, came together, played with a lot of emotion. Again, tonight's crowd wasn't quite as big as it has been the last few. Sunday afternoon, New Year's Eve, I get all that. But the fans that were here, I thought were, again, really impacted it. And you could feel that energy and that voice. And I appreciate them sticking with us. You could feel them trying to will us. So, and that's real talk. That's not just saying it to say it. Like it was, you can feel this home court getting better and better. And so I really, really appreciate that, as do our guys. Again, 20 assists, 12 turnovers. Anytime you get 20 assists, I think a big-time thing. At the end of the day, it was really a tale of two halves. The first half felt like one game, and the second half was a totally different game. We get 60 points in the second half, 48 points in the paint, and then we just found a way to get a bunch of stops. So obviously, Brandon Carlson really led us. I mean, I don't know if that's a career high, John, 34 points. And then I think he had a career high with 7 assists. So when you get, is that right, John? Yep. When you get 2 career highs in points and assists, you're you're doing something right. And we rode him. I mean, we played through him in every way in that second half. We didn't take him off the floor. But so many great things. I mean, Gabe Mattson, 11 and 11, career high with rebounds. And we've been saying this for a while now. Gabe's really become a complete guy, a complete player. Obviously, he's a incredible shooter. He's become a much better playmaker. A couple of the passes he had tonight I thought were really good. And now he's getting his nose dirty and attacking rebounds in a great way. 4 guys in double digits, and 2 more with 9. So BC with the big night, but then a lot of other guys chipping in. So, good win. Took care of business at home this weekend, and on to the next.
Just going back to Brandon one last time. I mean, it's not the first time you're going to see him, not the last time you're going to see him be the emotional leader, but just what was it like to be able to see him go out there and emotionally just kind of lead that charge at the same time?
Man. Brandon's it's just been amazing seeing his transformation, right? Coaching him for 2.5 years now. And I just remember so well what he was like when we first got here. Amazing person, obviously a very good player. But just the level of his game, not only, and it's easy to see what he does on the floor, that part, but it's his voice. And you guys forget, like he never used to talk, like, or very, very rarely, very, very rarely, and just taking command. And we challenged Brandon at halftime, in a big time way, and boy did he respond. I mean, but he owned it, and our guys played through him, and our guys, have all the belief in the world in what he can do and what he does do, and that's what the great ones do. But that's what upperclassmen do. Nothing surprises me anymore. Just the way we can manipulate defenses and the way he is guarding now, playing a whole new position. We all forget, like, he's playing a completely different position than he's ever played in his life. That's hard to do. And he's just figuring it out, and that's what's exciting. He's just learning how to play that spot and almost getting better on a day-to-day basis. But a guy like Kaba and Lawson are really, really helping him, and now the addition of Davon helps. But going back, just the veteran kind of, I know you asked about BC, but this leads into another veteran in Ben Carlson, same initial, right? Ben hardly played the second half the other night, played 2 minutes. So I'm sure he played 9 minutes for the game. I'm sure he wasn't ecstatic about that, right? And then he didn't play until about the 9-minute mark of the second half tonight. And Cabo looked like he was, struggling out there, just tired, right? And we put in Ben, and oh my gosh, he played amazing. And that takes a lot of maturity and stick-to-itiveness, right, to be able to come in there. And I thought he impacted the game in a great way. Had the little post touch, obviously made a free throw, but the way he was able to guard Keon Brooks, I thought was big. So I wanted to just make sure I said that, and I said that to the team. I think it says a lot about him and the kind of people that we have in our program. But, with Brandon, we can just move things all over the place. Our guys do a great job of understanding what we're trying to do as a team, depending on how teams guard us. I mean, teams guard us so many different ways. So we kind of have to know, okay, they're doing this, we're going to this. We're doing this, we're going to that. We're doing that, we're going to that. And he's seen about everything. And so now he's just taking, 34. I knew he had a lot. I would have never guessed 34. What I noticed more was the 7 assists, and the way he was guarding. So I'm really proud of him.
Obviously still a lot of games left to be played. Here in December you go undefeated. And this game, you come back from, I think it was 12 down in the second half. Just what does it speak about the resilience of this team? I mean, you've talked about veteran leadership on this team. What does it talk about the resilience of these guys?
Well, first of all, we have tough kids. We have tough kids that love to compete and they love to play. They love to be in the gym. They care about each other. You can't understate that stuff. You just can't. I know I say this decent amount. We have great personal character and basketball character, and we have unselfish guys. You know, you think about, we've kind of. It's hard to kind of change some things in the middle of the season, and we haven't necessarily changed how we play. But when you add a new player like Davon into the lineup, who's a very talented player, now there's some other guys. There's yin and yang. Now there's some other guys that have some less minutes, and you're trying to develop different roles. And so we're playing 2 point guards out there together a lot. We did that in the second half again tonight with Davon and Raleigh. And your turnovers go down. Raleigh's kind of learning a new spot, and Davon is too. They're both point guards mutually. But those two guys have a really good connection off the floor as well. But, it just says a lot. I think it says what we've been saying all year. I think good teams can win a lot of different ways. And you have the versatility to do it. You have the scheme to do it. You have the intelligence to do it. You have the toughness to do it. And up to this point, and we're 11-2, so it's 13 games. We're not even halfway through yet. So much season to go. I think we can keep getting better, but you got to go earn it every night. And I'm just really proud that we were able to get off to a great start, because the Washington playing those two teams, it's going to be hard to get sweeps in this league. You wait. Those two teams, they're good teams. A lot coming into the weekend. Most teams had them as a fourth and fifth. Most prognosticators had them as the fourth and fifth best team in the league.
When going back to that first half, there was such a sizable difference in the number of fouls called, and obviously that ended up, I think it was 19-0 at the end of the game. How much did that just impact how much your team, I don't know if you would call it playing tentatively at that point, those last 10 minutes of the first half, how much of it was just fouls were being
I need to handle myself better. And, as a player, that's right. There's always outside influences that you have no control over. Like if you're on the road and you're playing in front of a great crowd, you can't let the crowd in the distractions and the fans giving it to you just can't let it be a distraction. And so, with officiating, whether you agree or disagree, they have a very difficult job, and they got to call it the best that they can, and we got to be able to adjust and control it the way we need to control. And I lost my poise. I need to be better for our guys. And I thought our guys lost their focus, and we're distracted. And it's so hard to win, and it's really hard to win if you're distracted. You got to be locked into what you need to do. If your job is to get back on defense, you better get back on defense. And we weren't doing that first stretch of that first half. If your job is to box out, you better box out, right? You better know what plays we're running. And there was a little bit of all of that in that first half, because I felt like we were distracted. And you just cannot allow yourself to do that. And that's why I said right away, I'm so proud of our guys, how we regrouped and regathered and self-corrected in the second half. And I think that's what great players and great programs do, is the ability to focus and self-correct.